All right. Looks like we are live. Excellent. Okay. So here we are. I'm doing another live stream today. Basically just doing these very meandering, very awkward live streams until I get somewhat better at this. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to have fun, but we'll see how it goes. So today we're talking about Row. Row is a CMS or site builder, if you will, that I've spent the last 4 or 5 months working on. And the idea is it's a love letter to all that was once good about the web and could be again. You host everything yourself, no algorithms, no subscriptions. There's 3 ways for makers to add revenue to their site using Row. Row doesn't take any percentage of your revenue. And it's built in a way that I hope is intuitive when people start to use it. So if you do actually see this stream and you have not checked it out, please do so and let me know if you try it. That would be really cool. All right. Okay, so I think I'm just going to download Row and get it installed and kind of show you what that looks like. So I'm going to start that over again. There's going to be a lot of this in this stream. I'm going to try to use these videos later for tutorials and whatnot. So I'm trying to get good takes. So yeah, if you enjoy watching someone fumble and start over, this is the stream for you. All right. All right, we're going to get Row installed and set up. First, we will download Row, and this will download a folder on your computer. I'll open my Finder so you can see it. Here it is in Downloads. I have a Sites folder here. I'm going to move this over to that. And I'm going to unzip it. Now, you can leave this folder named exactly as it is, but you can also just rename it and it will still work. So I'm going to rename this My New Site. Great. Now you need to open this folder in your terminal. If you're familiar with the terminal, then just do that. It's no problem. But if you're not, you can right click on a folder here and down here in this section. And you can say, copy My New Site as path name. And this will copy the exact location on your computer so you can put it in the terminal. Some of you might also see this Open in Terminal button, which you can also use. But we'll go with this for now. So I'm going to open my terminal and we're going to start from my home directory. So this is the very top of my computer. And I'm going to say cd and paste that folder. And now I'm in that folder. So this is Row. You can see Sites, My New Site on the right there. And you would just start with this command. This is going to check your system to see if you have the things that are necessary to work with Row. I'm going to say yes. I want to do the setup. It's going to build everything that we need for Row. This process will take a little bit longer if you're brand new, but it doesn't take too long. I would say under 5 to 10 minutes to install things. I'm going to add my email address. I didn't think through this. Oh, yeah. You can email me here if you have any questions about Row. Does this look right? Yes, this looks right. Generate a strong random password. Yes. I will obviously not use this site ever again, so it's okay for now. All right, this gives you a random password. This is not going to show up again, so you want to save this in a password manager or wherever you keep your passwords. And then also save these recovery codes. If for some reason you're unable to sign into your site, you could use one of these codes to reset your password. All right, press any key once you have saved the above. I've done it. Great. Start server and open in browser. Yes, that's what we want. I want you to start the server and open in browser. So I'll use Y. This should open my browser, and here we are. We are in Row. Now I'm actually going to switch to Chrome because that's what I'm using for this. So I just clear these out. And we're going to use the credentials I just created and sign in. So this is what you see when you first sign into Row. You'll see a welcome to Row post that has some descriptions about how things work, get you started a little bit. I think I'm going to add some links to documentation down there as well. And you can see all the documentation right here. This takes you to the Row site, and all of the documentation here is live. So I would start with the installation guide and then the getting started with Row. But that's it. Row is installed and you can just start using it. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. It is awkward doing this in a live stream, but then wanting to cut chunks of it later for tutorials. So I might just record the tutorials by themselves. We'll see. Okay. Now that we are here, let me go back to the dashboard. Okay. Here we are in Row's dashboard, Here we are in Row's dashboard. This is what you see when you first sign into Row. This will show you what site you're working on. You can have multiple sites in Row running on your computer, or that you're working on your computer. Only one will run at a time, but this will tell you the site. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the settings, and I'm going to go to site, and I'm going to add a site title, my new site. And I'll give it a site URL just so we have something, https mynewsite.com. It would be really cool if that was actually a real website. You can put in your author name and your author email. And there are some other settings here about how search works and some content settings. You can also set your branding and all of that. We'll do that at another time. This is just going to be a basic configuration. We'll go back to our dashboard. And let's create a post. Actually, no. Let's check out the home page. So when you first install Row, you will have a home page and a welcome post. This is mainly to just give you a little bit of an idea of how things work. So I'm going to show you what this page looks like. Welcome, latest posts, welcome to Row. So what does this look like in the page? So this is your page title, and you can set this to be whatever you want. Of course, that's what we see here. And then we have our collection. And a collection is going to be what grabs your blog posts, or it can also be a collection of pages. So collections are basically just groups of content in Row. Similar to a blog feed would be the closest approximation. And you can see here the basic things I've set. The heading here is latest posts. And of course, here you see latest posts. So if I change this to, let's do recent posts. I like that better. Save and refresh. There it is. Now, one nice thing is I can actually use preview, and this will auto update as I update things here. So let's try this out. Let's actually create a new post first, and we'll use the preview there. So how do you create a post? Well, it's pretty straightforward. you come to the post page. This will show you all the posts that you have. You can filter by various things. As you create more post types, if you create a podcast post, you'll see these tabs grow for those types of content. New post, my new post. Brilliant. Now, a couple things to note. This URL name, this tells you where this post is going to live. And that's just useful to use all throughout Row. If this ever updates, you can always find it right here on the post page. What it is, it's using the title and just making it useful in your like a URL format. But you can also add your own if you want to add a specific thing. So you could say the best post, and now it will be the best post. So when I preview this page, I can actually have these side by side. And as I start writing, let's see, the best post. I really like writing. Actually, so we go over here and you'll see this is updating live. In fact, let me break this out and see if I can just show you that really fast. So we'll move this over here and we'll move this over here. Okay. There's probably a cooler way to do this. Actually, I just really like typing. And it will update. So you can kind of see what's happening in the post as you edit it. Nice. In the future, there might be a fancier way to do this, but for now, this works. Okay, so that's preview. So as you're working on a post, you just do that. Keep it in the preview. And then you can see what you're doing. So I'm going to create a post, and I'm going to give this post a tag of news. And I'm going to publish it. Now, Row is installed locally, which means when I publish it, that's the status of this post, but it's not actually live anywhere until I put the site on a host. So no one else can see this, but it works the same everywhere. I didn't explain that very well. Let me backtrack. Each post and page and product, if you're using the store, has a status. Status published means this post is visible to people who visit your site. Unlisted means it's visible if people know the link, but it's not going to show up in any feeds anywhere. So you can just give people a direct link to that page if you want. And then draft means it's not going to be visible to anyone except you. Now, in this, Row is installed on my local computer, so no one can see it. It's just on my local computer. When it's in a web host, these matter more, but it works the same locally, so you can test everything and make sure it's working as you want before you publish the full site. So I'm going to save and publish, and then I'm going to go back to my home page. I've got my new post here, and it's published. And then on our home page, we're going to view this again, and we should see that new post. Now, if I want to only see posts that are tags news, that's what I do. And when I come here and refresh, it's gone. And I can also do that with the preview. So let me do that. Let's open up the preview and break it out and just throw it over. Oh, wow, that's really wonky. It really wants to snap back into place. Let me just put it right there. Okay. No, it's a little awkward, but you'll see how it works. Okay. So if I remove this, then the other post comes back. If I add this tag, this comes back. If I try to use a tag that doesn't exist, like this, I'll get this warning. Newsies does not exist on any post. So this is only for the local version of Row, not for the public version. They just won't see anything when the site is live. But on your computer, you'll see this. That way you know when something's broken and you can fix it and make it news again, or just get rid of tags altogether. Tags also let you remove certain tags from here. So you can do negative news, and then it will only remove the one that I tagged news. So that's how that works. So creating a page, creating a post is all pretty straightforward. The interesting thing is when you start to get into collections. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about how those work. So here we have our recent posts connections, and this is just going to have all posts. So right now we only have these two. That's fine. I'm going to move this back in here. There we go. So we can also do source pages. And when we go back here, it's going to list all of our pages. So you can use a collection in this way to create a navigation. You can use it to create maybe extra pages that are at the bottom of a footer. So for example, if I give my home page a tag footer, and then I check this collection, it's still going to work because this isn't filtering any tags. But if I say tags, negative footer, that will now be gone from here. And so now I could create a collection. Let me show you this. So we have our footer. So I'm going to open up the footer, and instead of this, I'm going to create a collection. And I'm going to make it tags footer. And now when I come back here onto the site, oh wow, that doesn't work. Cool. Well, that's something I need to add. Collections work pretty much everywhere else in Row, but apparently not in layouts. So that's good to know because they would be really useful there. Awesome. So in theory, you would add this collection to your, excuse me, to your footer, and then all those links would show up here. So pretty sweet, but not working right now. Okay. Let's say I'm working on a new post and I want to add an image. Now, there's a central place to deal with all your media, and that's the media page. And you can upload stuff here as needed. One of the really cool things is that, actually, let me just show you this right now. So back to posts, I'm going to go to my new post, and I'm going to add an image here. So I'm going to upload some images. And let's see, I'm going to go in here and just upload this. Great. So that is ready to go, and I'm going to insert selected. And that's going to drop in a markdown link directly to that post in my system. And if I preview this page, there's the picture. That's pixelated on purpose. I did that for fun. So there it is, and it works. Another cool thing in Row is that if I put two images or more in a row, Row will automatically create a kind of gallery out of that. So for example, if I do this, oh, that was my password. If I do this and save, we'll see two images in a row, just as you would expect. But if I remove this line and go over here and refresh, now they're in a gallery, and you can click to see them full screen, and they're next to each other in a square. And if I do a third one, now there are three, all side by side. So this is just a nice, convenient way to create certain layouts with images. Now, also, I can do even fancier things with this gallery. All of this stuff is in the documentation, by the way, and I'll show you a little bit of that later. But if I click gallery, I get a couple of options. And this is kind of making it a slightly fancier gallery. So first, I'm just going to show you what this does. So okay, that's broken. All right, so what that's supposed to do is this. It's supposed to wrap everything you just selected in this gallery syntax. But what that's going to do is right now it's going to look exactly the same. However, I can now do interesting things within this gallery. So if I put this image on its own line, it's now going to be kind of featured in the gallery, right? And if I do, let's say I want a 2x2 grid, I can do this. And now I have 4 equal squares. And let's say I want 2 on top and 3 on the bottom. I can do this. And now I have 2 on top and 3 on the bottom. So that starts to get a little bit fancier. Now, I can also turn this whole thing into a carousel with this. And when you create galleries, you can actually just select this option here, and it will do that for you. You can also change the aspect ratio of the images themselves. So I'm going to look at what some of the options are here. Let's do TV and just see how that works. Okay, so now these will be 4x3, and there they are. Oh, aspect ratio doesn't work with slideshow. So slideshows don't respect aspect ratio. So I'm going to get rid of this for now, just so you can kind of see what this looks like. Great. And now I'm going to add it back and remove this slideshow. Okay, that's also broken. Wow, this is really awkward. Oh, I just realized I am using an older version of Row because I've improved all of this stuff since I put out 0.1.0. Okay, this is all exciting stuff then. Okay, I'm going to show you what that looks like in my development version of Row. So we are going to start the server, and I don't need it to open that. And we are going to come back here, and I'm going to sign in. And now I can show you how that works. So let's just create a new post. Just a bunch of posts in here. New slideshow. Great. New slideshow. I'll just publish this really fast. Yes, that's fine. Good, good. And now, much better. I'm going to grab some images. Great. Insert selected. And I'm going to grab these and put them in a gallery with a slideshow. Done. Save that and view it. And now you see we have a slideshow of those images. And then we can, of course, change this back into a gallery and change the aspect ratio to TV. And that is going to do this. Now they will all be in this particular shape. So, yeah, that's how galleries work. What else do we have? There's a collection builder in here. It's very complex, but you can just click insert and it's going to insert a default collection with some pretty good settings. But you can get in here and completely tweak everything that the collection is going to be able to do. And has some links to documentation as needed up here and down here. So yeah, and then we also have something called cards in Row. So what is a card? A card is like a special styled element. So for example, we can do something like a post link. This is going to grab information and stuff from a post. And let's see, I have my new post, I think. Let's see, let's just do my comics aren't for kids. And I'm going to insert that. Now, when I view this page, it's going to create this post link, and that will take me to the post. So pretty sweet. Yeah, wow, there's a lot here. So yeah, that's that. I think I'm going to end it here because that's pretty much all I've prepared or didn't prepare, but I don't know what else to go through. So I'm going to end it here. And yeah, thank you for not watching. All right. Have a good one. I'll be back at it again later. Bye.